questions about buying or selling a home, not sure if you qualify? Your local real estate agent Antoinette Ware is here for you. Do you live out of town, moving out of town, or looking for investment property? Well, let's work together and make it happen. Antoinette Ware can be reached at 419-917-6258. The name you know, celebrating over 20 years, serving Toledo and surrounding areas. Frida's Cleaning Service is a small family-owned business established in 2003. With over 17 years of professional, high-quality, and greatly satisfied service, La Frida's Cleaning Service will get the job done. Specializing in sanitizing your home, business, post-construction, and commercial cleaning, no job's too big or small. See for yourself and give us a call, 567-249-9172. La Frida's Cleaning Service. Our reputation is always spotless.
Are you tired of driving around a dirty car? Say hello to the ultimate solution for your car. Quick Auto Detail, home, work, or wherever. Their mobile car spa will clean and shine your car anytime and anywhere. Their products are gentle on your car's paint, and they use only the highest quality materials. Book your appointment now.
Hi, this is TV comedy impressionist Christopher G from the other side of the pond saying hi, and I love the Queen Silvy show. Hi, this is TV comedy impressionist Christopher G from the other side of the pond saying hi, and I love the Queen Silvy show.
Today on the Queen Silvy Show, live from London, discussing eating disorders and ways to cope with your anxiety behavior. She's an advanced hypnotherapy practitioner, anxiety and eating disorder therapist, and author, Kate Hudson Hall.
Welcome to the Queen Silvy Show. Tune in at 11, good laugh, good vibe, that's for sure. Get smooth with Tim, get smooth with Tim. They have you running like you popped the pill. Once you hear the show, you ain't gonna want it to end. Get creative with the sounds you can make with your mouth. Reaching all over the world, Queen Silvy in the house. Award-winning show, got the #1 spot, look out. It's the Queen Silvy Show. 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 It's the Queen Silvy Show.
Hi, this is Joe Mass. You are listening to the Queen Silvy Show. You are now part of the royalty.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live, it's time for the silky smooth sounds of Smooth Tim and Her Majesty herself, Queen Silvy.
Hey, and welcome to the show. We appreciate you dropping in on the multiple award-winning The Queen Silvy Show. It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce to you the world's sexiest granny, everybody's favorite comedian, the Queen herself, Queen Silvy.
Yes, it is me, Queen Silvy. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are in this great world today. Hey, get ready for some super greatness. You know I bring it to you every week, and we are here to bring it to you today. That's right, again. Smooth, how are you today?
I am doing terrific, Queen. Can I ask, how are you doing?
You sure can. I am supercalifragilistic.
Expialidocious osmosis.
Yes.
Yeah, 24/7,
Yes.
365. Queen Silvy, you're just simply
I know. Amazing.
Yes, you are.
True that. I am amazing. You are amazing, Smooth. You are amazing, as well as our amazing guest and announcements for today.
Absolutely. We're going to have talking to us a little bit about anxiety and eating disorders from across the pond, Kate Hudson Hall. Absolutely. Oh, also, speaking of going across the pond, still our hearts and prayers going out to what's going on in Ukraine.
Absolutely.
You know, hopefully they can get that ironed out. My God, it's been going on way too long. Should have never started in the first damn place.
Right.
And anyhow, hey, even here in the good old U.S. of A, people, relax, take it easy, and coast faith over fear, as the Queen always says.
Yes, I do.
Hey, if you would please take a moment and sign up for the Queen Silvy Friends Club. You can look at the top of the screen if you're watching it's live, or if you're listening, you can get a hold of us at www.thequeensilvyshow.com. Go to the contact tab, scroll on down, and pop your email into us, and we will get in touch with you, with the information of what's going on in our show, as well as other projects that the Queen and I are working on.
Absolutely.
And also, because you are worth it, you know what? Foxy 5 Jewelry. It is sassy, elegant, and affordable, fashionable jewelry and accessories for you and or that someone special. So go ahead and get a hold of Monica Wright on Facebook, or go ahead and go to her website, www.foxy5jewelry.com. Also, another way to keep up with us is to go to our YouTube channel. So simply go to YouTube, and in the search engine, drop in The Queen Silvy Show. You'll get the results of all of our shows, as well as some movies and some other stuff that we have been doing.
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. So go ahead, and while you're there, just please subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Also, if you would, we have been blessed to be nominated by the Toledo City Paper as a podcast of the year, right? Again. So, hey, anyhow, we would appreciate it if you would please go to www.thetoledocitypaper.com. Go to the media and scroll on down to podcasts, and please cast your vote for The Queen Silvy Show. We appreciate it. Analytics from last week's broadcast, Australia, the Bahamas, Canada, the Dominican Republic, Good old Ireland is New Zealand, St. Lucia, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much.
Listening to the show. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. In fact, if you are watching this live, I want you to know, Smooth and myself, we love and appreciate you. And if you're watching this later on the archive,
our love is everlasting.
Our love is everlasting. We love and appreciate you too, bringing you some super greatness that you are so inside. Be kind and spread the word to someone else so they can come in and get this super greatness that we have in store for you today. Before I begin my conversation with my wonderful guest, you know me, right? What I like to do at this moment is I like to share some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. It makes a big difference in your life when you stay positive. See, once you replace the negative thoughts with the positive ones, you'll start seeing results. That's because your positive actions combined with positive thinking results in success. So if you're positive, I promise you'll see opportunities instead of obstacles. So trust, love, and believe in yourself. You're worth it. That's right. Hey? And those are some motivational words from the Queen Silvy Show to you. Yes, you are worth it. You are beautiful, and we love and appreciate you on this great day here. I want you to know that the phone lines are open. You're more than welcome to call in and ask Smooth or myself or my guest a question. That number is 817-602-0577. That is the number to the Queen Silvy Show. Here to help you overcome your deepest, darkest struggles, discussing eating disorders and ways to cope with your anxieties, behaviors while providing proven techniques and tips just for you. She's a magnificent author, anxiety and eating disorder therapist, advanced hypnotherapy practitioner, and so much more. Here today, live from London, I introduce to you Kate Hudson Hall.
Wow, thank you so much. What an introductory, Queen Silvy.
Well, I don't think I've done justice to someone at your stature. You are magnificent, making such a huge difference in the world. You're not only a specialist when it comes to eating disorders and anxieties, Kate, but you also have like maybe 15 years of personal experience suffering with anorexia and bulimia. So let's start out with you. Share what you will about your story and how you've come through it.
Yes. Oh, gosh. So, well, it started, I think, well, the very first time that I had anxiety was when I was 5, and I had separation anxiety from my mother, but because it was back in the 1800s, it was a very long time ago. And, in those days, people didn't, they weren't aware of anxiety, particularly separation anxiety, and I was just told to get on with it. So I think it really kind of started from there, the anxiety and all the difficult experiences I had from then on. When I was 9, I was sexually abused, and I never actually talked to anybody about that until I found a therapist that I became comfortable with in my 30s. So I held on to that. And then I was sent away to boarding school when I was 11, and that whole big another separation, and I would cry every night for about 3 weeks. Because having to have left my mother, and then after that, then I had 1 week of reprieve, and then I'd probably see her again, and then the whole cycle would start all over again. So there was other things, many different, and then later on I was sexually abused again, and so then when I was 18, a friend of mine, I feel that I was a late developer and my body was changing. And I wasn't overweight, but I felt that my body felt different to me. So I was concerned about my weight. So I went on various different diets. And then a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, did you know that if you eat a Mars bar and make yourself sick, you can lose weight?" And my mind kind of took that and ran with it. And what's really important for people to hear from that is that it's the power of suggestion. So it's just being more aware of when you speak to people, and the kind of the insinuations that may be behind that. But particularly when you talk to children, you've got to be really careful about how you speak to your child or to children,
Right.
and make sure that you kind of word it maybe more in the positive would be much better for them, rather than talking too much about the negative. And so anyway, so then when I was 18, that's when I kind of, from that power of suggestion, what that person said to me, my mind kind of ran with that, and then I sort of dived into this humongous, great big deep hole of anorexia and bulimia. And it became very, very severe. And the really sad thing is, because it was such a long time ago, there wasn't really much help out there. There was no internet in the 1800s. There wasn't really any books either. It was actually in the 1980s, but there wasn't really any books particularly on bulimia. And I just thought, as I was going through this, that I was going mad. I obviously knew that I was in this pattern of behavior, but I didn't understand it. And nobody else kind of did either, really, around, which, was a very difficult time, not only for me, but also for my family, my friends, and my poor mother. And I remember sitting with a friend of mine, and she said to me at the time, when I was in the depths of my bulimia, she said, "So why is it when we're all sitting around together and we're talking about our feelings, you're the only one that never actually talks about your feelings?" And I had no idea what she was talking about. I didn't even know what a feeling was back then. Anyway, so that pattern continued for 15 years until my mother kind of finally dragged me to see the doctor. And then from then on, I gradually started to open up and get help. And then when I was going through that transition, I eventually found a therapist that I was seeing. I spent 4 years with her. And when I was seeing her and, working through my recovery, my mother got cancer. And I never had a father. He died when I was 2. So my mother was like a mother and a father rolled into one. And then after 2 years, she died very suddenly of cancer. And I do believe that if I wasn't seeing that therapist, then I wouldn't be here today.
Well, it's
She
a good
helped
thing.
me enormously.
It is a good thing. Do you realize, Kate, how blessed and fortunate you are? So many go through what you've um, went through, or other things that they go through, and they don't come out of it. They don't have a story, a testimony to say. They don't come out as strong as you are to take that experience and make a difference for others. Because this is decades later now, where you're currently really making a difference worldwide. We're going to talk about your books, and coloring books. Oh, you're just doing some fantastic things to help people worldwide. But tell me the services. Tell me what services and kind of treatments that you provide now,
So,
currently.
yeah, so after I sort of had that realization that I wouldn't have been here without that therapist, and after I gradually made it through my recovery and sort of came out the other side, then it was like, oh, I know what I want to do. I want to be able to help other people how I've been helped. So that was 22 years ago. So I have been working as a therapist. So I work as a psychotherapist and a hypnotherapist, and I'm also an NLP practitioner, so neuro-linguistic programming. And then I also teach emotional freedom technique, the tapping technique, which is brilliant, and everybody should be doing that to be able to. It's very easy to learn, and then we can talk about that maybe later. But it's a brilliant
Yes.
technique to be
Yes.
able to help you. And then there's another number. Yeah. So anorexia is when you deprive yourself of food, and then bulimia is when you overeat and you binge and purge. So,
Right.
and then of course, then we've got the binge eating,
Right.
which was actually officially given the label in 2013, and that's another huge problem for so many
So, what are some
Um,
misconceptions about eating disorders?
the misconceptions. Well, something that springs to mind is that, particularly with somebody that has bulimia, if they are, a person with an eating disorder, if they have anorexia, they're more than likely very, very slim.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody with bulimia, they could be of normal weight, but sometimes they're, a little heavier also,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it twice as difficult when they do actually go to reach out for help, because people don't believe them. And so
Right.
many people have told me that. It's just, it's just horrific.
Well, some people may be in denial. Some people may not know. And then there may be a teenager or something, and the mom is not sure. What would be some signs that someone has an eating disorder?
Can I say something real quick though? And I don't know if this is true, but it would seem to me that maybe an overweight people would have more of a problem with bulimia because they already have a weight disorder. Now this is just double tripping them out. They love food, and I got to get rid of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So, what would be
Yeah.
some signs
And
that
it's a
someone
whole
may
big
have it?
secretive disease.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, Smooth Tim, nobody would know, or may not know because of, they're on the heavier side.
Wow. And that's true.
Hmm.
What would be some signs, though? What would be some signs that someone has an eating disorder and someone around them may not even be aware of
A
it?
friend or mom and dad to look for.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if somebody has anorexia, it's sort of a little more obvious because they stop eating, they start to not want to eat with the family, they start to refuse certain foods, they could start to over exercise also, which is another combination that could be sort of involved in it, more than they would normally. Um, and that is called exercise bulimia because they will eat, you know, a certain amount of food, but then they will spend, 3-4 hours in the gym to work off that food.
Wow.
And they just becomes an obsession. But if they've got, for a parent, if they feel that their child has, say, bulimia, um, the signs would be them eating more food that they would normally do, and then sloping off to the bathroom and spending time in the bathroom and purging that food. Um, so if you have a child and you are concerned, it's that what I say to parents is the very first step is for you to get online and find out as much information as you possibly can about the particular eating disorder or all eating disorders. So when you go to approach your loved one, you have some more knowledge. But when you do approach them, obviously finding the right time when it's quiet and there's not lots of people around, but also speaking to them and telling them that you feel that you have been aware that they have been reducing the amount of food that they're eating, or they do seem to go off into the bathroom after they've eaten, and you are aware of that. But it's really important that you aim at giving them, trying to get them to talk about their feelings rather than focusing on the food or the patterns. It's trying to get them to open up with their feelings. And you could quite well get knocked back, but if you do, it's important to remember that you're setting seeds. So the next time that you decide to approach them, you've already set that one seed. So it's gradually over time, they hopefully will listen to what you're saying.
You're right. Hey, there's help out here today. In today's times, technology is everywhere. We have the National Eating Disorder Association helpline for anyone who wants to reach out for any information, confidential, of course. And that number is 1-800-931-2237. I'll have that posted up on the site as well. But if you don't want to talk to someone, you can text. And there is crises text line. There's more than one way to communicate, and this is provided too. Just text CONNECT, CONNECT, to 741-741. And again, that will be on the website for you as well. But the amazing Kate, I was going to call you the amazing Kate. You have a fourth new book that just been released the other day, November the 13th. But before I get into that book, I want to acknowledge the first three books because they are important as well. They are still available for someone. This is very great. I want you to elaborate on it. First, we have Bulimia Sucks 10 Simple Steps to Stop Binging and Purging. And you have Bulimia Sucks, which is a personal workbook. You have Bulimia Sucks Personal Food Journal. Wow, that is a complete package that is like priceless. It's a perfect gift for someone. It's great information. Tell me about that there.
Well, I decided to write the book because I help so many people with eating disorders, and I wanted to reach out to a larger audience. And I thought, what better way to do that would be than to write a book?
Right.
And in the book, it's 25% memoir of my experience. And then the rest of the book are different ways and patterns and different ways that you can start to address those behaviors, those difficult patterns and behaviors. And there's a lot of different information in there, and yeah, and there's lots of different other ways, but it explains about the bulimia and the eating disorder and how you can start to begin to break those patterns. And then the workbook, the Bulimia Sucks workbook, in that there are a lot of many different tables that you can fill out, which are connected to Bulimia Sucks and the different techniques in there to be able to help you work your way through the book. And then the food journal is obviously a journal where you can start to begin to list what foods you're eating, but there's questions in there that get you to start to open up and think about what you can change that day or the next day. What are your goals for that particular day?
That's great.
So
You also, what was the purpose for the coloring books, which I think are absolutely great? Everyone loves coloring, and it's therapeutic as well.
I know. I love making those. They're very therapeutic in themselves when I'm. So, I decided that I wanted to do one for the three eating disorders, so binge eating, bulimia, and anorexia, and then also one for anxiety. And what is good about them? So, on one page there is a mandala, a beautiful mandala that you can color in with a quote on it about some sort of positive quote. And then on the other side, there's a question or questions about that quote. So as you're coloring, you can start to think about that quote.
Love it.
And then how that can help you in your recovery, or to help you with your anxiety. So
I love that. I really do. You're providing the tools for someone to help themselves, on a personal level. Like you can't sleep. These are perfect tools to fill in that void. But you are the one that's making this difference with all of this. And you have the book. You wanted to say something, I know.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. Do you consider all these eating disorders a psychological issue? And then once you've answered that, how did your support team help you drill down into the root cause of your disorder?
Good questions. Good questions. So absolutely, for an eating disorder, even though you have these difficult behaviors and patterns, it's not really about the food. It's about, how you're feeling and what maybe past experiences you have, or it's a common trait for people with an eating disorder is perfectionism. So it's working with that. There's so many different kind of avenues to be addressed. For me, my support team, I had that one therapist. Initially, I was taken to see my doctor, and then I went to see a psychiatrist who diagnosed me with bulimia and anorexia. And then from then on, I was sent to these number of different counselors, and then finally found a psychotherapist that I felt really comfortable with. And that was my support team. But for many people, it's such a huge, great, positive help to have, to have a doctor, to have a psychiatrist, to have a nutritionalist, to have your counselor or psychotherapist, to have all of those to be able to support you in your recovery.
Oh, it takes a team. That was why I was asking is how they had and how you got through it, because you need a team. You need that support.
Well,
It's
you
hard
need
to do
someone.
it by yourself.
You need someone. You need to talk to someone. But let's just face it. Some people can't afford a therapist.
Yeah.
Can't go to a therapist, and that's where these books, the coloring books, all the books, come into play because it makes you're doing something versus getting down because you can't afford that. That doesn't mean there's not a way out there for you. And your newest book, by the way, where's my audience? Audience. They're going to give it up to you because your book is booming right now. It is #1, just been released. Wow, that should make you feel outstanding. Anxiety hacks with proven techniques, tools, and tips to calmness. Please, the floor is yours to talk about this great book.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Queen Silvy. Yes, I'm very excited. So it has just launched, and it is available on Amazon. So like Queen Silvy said, so there are so many different techniques and tools and different ways that you can be able to calm yourself in the book. So, for example, there's a number of different specific acupressure points that you can use to be able to, to calm yourself. There are so many different ways and techniques. That I think it's really important that people have a toolbox that they can sort of dip into. And the other therapy that I really find beneficial, my clients do also, is the emotional freedom technique, which is the tapping therapy. And it's the way that it works is, so it's tapping on a routine of points on your face and on your body while thinking about your negative feeling or a thought that you have, and you can reduce down that feeling.
That is important.
Just fantastic. And the specific point for anxiety is the collarbone point. So your collarbone, where it comes down to a V here. So most people think this is a collarbone, but it also comes down and leads down into where it comes down into a V. Right in the middle here. And so if you tap on that bone with 2 fingers on either side of that bone, that's a specific point to be able to reduce and calm anxiety.
Ooh.
And so when you're sitting in your car outside the grocery store or wherever you're
right.
you can sit in the car. So you could do your breathing, take a nice deep breath. Maybe you could also have a good positive affirmation that you could calm yourself with to get yourself into a good mindset. All the while tapping on your collarbone point.
That is interesting.
So, but I love this point because there's a number of different points you tap on in the whole of the sequence. But this one, I just feel my whole body go, ooh, and it kind of relaxes.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, too. I'm like, hold on, and we'll be back after this complete message. No, I'm just kidding. But that's very interesting, and it's this and so much more that can help you, your neighbor, your family member. I really wish that you all go and obtain anxiety hacks with proven techniques, tools, and tips to calmness. It is so important. There is so much stress in the world right now, so many triggers that we all have, so many people that don't want to leave the house because of anxieties and other things, that you can sit at home and get yourself together. There's things you can do. It all takes effort. This book is a great tool for it. Coloring book. Oh my gosh, that is so great. I love color. I color with my grandson all the time. He doesn't realize how he's helping his